Today I'm going to be kind of all over the place with this video, I can already tell. I'll give it a few minutes to load, but I really want to kind of fit several topics on this one video. I want to talk a little bit about dreams, the subconscious, kind of what's going on with these energies, as well as kind of the journey as the feminine. So I'll give it a second for some people to find us. There's a lot of energy coming into the planet too, but that's something I'm going to cover on my next video when I do cards. But we do have a lot of energy coming into the planet. That's why I've been meaning to do a dream video for a few days, because of how it is affecting our sleep states as well as our kind of dream experience. Alright, I'm going to also give you guys some pointers on kind of handling these energies, and that kind of fits into the journey of the feminine. So a lot of you guys are maybe remembering your dreams, or maybe, you know, in your lifetime you've had some pretty crazy dreams, or maybe even astral experiences. I look at like out-of-body experience as something a little bit different, so we won't put that in the dream category. But a lot of people are starting to kind of travel in their sleep, maybe through meditation, things like that. A lot of you guys are also maybe just having a feeling or a knowing of what is coming on this planet, or what is going to happen. So we have many inner worlds. That's why meditation and dreams are very powerful. Literally, I always have to start here that our subconscious reality creates our entire reality. But the subconscious is an area that even with science, they don't really seem to know a lot about some of these subjects, right? It's kind of like life after death and things like that. It's, you know, they do a lot of kind of scientific research with it, but it's kind of in its own little category. So every night we go to sleep. Some people are remembering their dreams, some people are not. I know a lot about, I would say the other realm, we'll say the experience after death, and kind of the dream state too. Those are kind of my areas of expertise in a lot of ways too. So just to start, a lot of you guys are starting to have really crazy dream experiences. This is your subconscious literally sending you a message. We are so disconnected. We have lived most of our life so disconnected spiritually kind of on this planet, and full of pollution, full of toxins that have kind of disconnected us in a lot of ways. But our subconscious is powerful. It contains the record of every experience that is not only ever happened in your life, like your past lives. It contains the experience of the entire collective, because we all share one subconscious mind. That's hard to grasp, but that really does kind of support, you know, the law of one, which I'm huge on, and things like that. And that's the truth of it, that while we may be having our own experience and lessons, that we're part of a greater whole. And so we kind of get lost in this experience of duality, or thinking that we're separate from the experience in so many ways. And that was the illusion, that, you know, you're kind of on your own little ego path and disconnected from the greater whole. And we know that that is definitely not true. Our subconscious is reaching out to us now more than ever. Whether you guys are seeing synchronicities, having crazy dream experiences, there's a lot of purging going on too, that a lot of people are not even able to consciously process or understand. So I am always I am willing to go into parts of my Akashic to help assist the collective, because I understand that I only have a small piece of this puzzle, and that this knowledge needs to come back. It's very important in us understanding our journey. And people will probably say, what do places like Egypt, Atlantis, and Lemuria have to do with my life now? You know, and people tend to look at that as a historical perspective when they're trying to like research and find these places. But these are, you know, states of consciousness that our soul has passed through, that are more important than ever, because they're relating to what we're going through now and what we are going to choose to experience. So a lot of you guys are going to start to have really crazy dream experiences. There's just so much energy coming in, and I always tell people, like, with what's happening, and I feel kind of in over my head a lot of the time. I know everyone else does, and it's kind of like a video game. Things are going to get turned up a notch and like a harder level, and I see the effects that it's having, these energies, because most people have not detoxed they have chosen not to awaken or to do a lot of inner work. And these energies coming in, it doesn't matter how good of a person, you know, people think they are, you know, there's a physical reaction that's happening with these energies. So I see a lot of people getting very sick. And, you know, even with their like news stuff, they're trying to prepare people for this in their own way. So we see a lot of people getting sick, and always, you know, people are big on external blame, like it must be from this or that. And it's always internal. It's always things that we have to heal. So people that haven't done a lot of healing work might have a really hard time in these energies. The people that even have done a lot of work are, you know, feeling these energies more and more generally too, and maybe struggling with them, purging, things like that. We're going to go through like the biggest purge ever for the next, until May, I say. Till May. We're going to go through a hell of a purge the next couple of months. Yeah, be prepared. Because I don't even know if I can scroll on my feed because I'm seeing so much, you know, just not great posts on my feed and people externally projecting a lot of baggage. So I think it's very important in handling these next couple of energy shifts for us to be aware that it is not our responsibility to be taking on the pain of the collective or that kind of baggage, and that we should probably be setting good boundaries, protecting our energy, and, you know, picking and choosing which energies that we're resonating with or choosing to resonate with. A lot of this is stemming from what is happening on this planet. We see that these past places, and I'm going to try to fit this into Lemuria today, especially Lemuria, were living in harmony. They were not having the same experience as us. They were living as like one consciousness group and one piece. And there was a disempowerment that happened with the feminine. And a lot of people will say that, you know, these type of videos are meant to demasculate the masculine, and that's not the intention at all. But this is part of the feminine's journey, this life, understanding these things, because I'm not alone in what my soul has experienced, kind of learning in these places and going through these lessons. There's been a lot of disempowerment and enslavement with the feminine this entire cycle on this planet, like it's just normal, right? Like it's just normal. And now as the feminine is rising and coming back to being authentic and into power, that's scary. Why? Why does that scare people? Well, in past times, the female was originally disempowered because it was scary. Yes, the men began to say the feminine was dark, and things like that, and begin to disempower and even kind of begin to use the feminine in different ways. This kind of has created such a chain reaction in so many ways, but there was a time, despite what our history teaches us, where the masculine and feminine were in perfect balance. The feminine has had a very hard cycle of learning because of this imbalance as well. It's also created an imbalance within the masculine, because the masculine contains these energies too, and they're meant to be in balance within everyone. So what does that look like when we suppress the feminine? People have been very disconnected from their intuition, their dreams, right? The unseen things you have to feel, and have been really stuck in logic. And the problem is that logic isn't going to explain anything in the unseen generally. So our minds usually can't make logical sense of, you know, the supernatural, the spiritual, and things like that. And we're going to see that there is a rising that's occurring that is triggering things within both the masculine and the feminine as well. So the masculine's going through a lot too, as they're beginning to feel disempowered in a lot of ways, or maybe, you know, purging out a lot of things that they can't comprehend as well. So the feminine and masculine are both experiencing their own kind of dynamic of lessons and are purging out a lot this lifetime. The problem is most people can't remember these things. These are things buried within your subconscious, right? Within your subconscious memories that are coming to the surface. Sometimes you guys have fears that you might not even understand, or triggers that you're very sensitive to this life that you have no idea, but you've always been like that, and it's beyond programming, but you know, it really lies within that subconscious memory. And as these energies are continuing to hit this planet, and they're going to continue to like tsunami wave this planet, it's going to be felt more and more, and we're going to see more and more rising to the surface as well, because as we're going up in frequency, a lot of the negative is going to continue to be purged to the surface, released, healing, kind of deep issues, right? Things like that. And this is all needed though. So a lot of people, if they're looking at this from a third dimensional perspective, think that things are getting worse, or not having a good conscious level of awareness, think this is scary, or are feeding fear or negativity. But this is meant to be part of a greater divine plan, where we chose to experience this on a soul level. And people always say, why? I guess we weren't learning fast enough. We weren't learning fast enough in our current dynamic. I also believe that there is both a positive and negative extraterrestrial influence on this planet that is very much part of our history as well, and that there have been many kind of galactic societies and places that were more one. And I believe that we're getting to a high enough frequency where we're going to be more and more tuned into the spiritual as well, and that's kind of part of it as well. All right. And this ties into, in past places, people were a lot more purified. So maybe we would go through these same kind of energy dynamics and cycles. But this life, if you look around, this planet has become really polluted. And everyone seeing the pollution of Gaia, that's kind of a manifestation of our psychic pollution as well. So we see that we have a purifying kind of cleansing that we're doing on this planet. And these energies are going to really kind of kick it into overdrive. Why the next few months? We have a series of supermoons, and even though there's some debate with astrologers as to whether this weekend's full moon is a supermoon, I classify it as one for sure. So there is some debate, there's for sure. They always want to keep things in a triad. They always want 3 in a row, but it is 4 in a row supermoons. And these moons are really close to the earth, so they really can shake things up greater, but they're always bringing out what is underneath. So this is always the subconscious. If you guys are having issues come up right now, I think it's very important to kind of understand the moon just amplifies however you're feeling, whatever's going on. If you have things you're stressed out about or like stressful lessons, it's just going to kind of bring that to surface because it's pushing you to clear and release these things too. So we can get a lot done with these energy shifts as well. Let me see. Good morning. Hi. So there's a lot happening on the planet like that right now. I said that's why I think it's important that we are setting boundaries too, that, it's not our responsibility to be doing anyone's lesson. True mastery would be to really kind of focus on your lessons and where you're at. And I have to think of that too, because I can see where the collective, like now, like remote viewing abilities. I can see where the collective is now and where it's headed. And if I look at my own individual life, it's looking much different than maybe everyone else's experience here too. So we're all having our own kind of lessons and experience, and people's souls need different things to grow. So those lessons and experiences might look different with what everyone's going through. And I've been doing a lot of inner work and spiritual work in my life, so I'm kind of at a different place than maybe the rest of the collective, we will say. So my personal life is looking a little bit different than the average person that might be, having a hard time with these energies and things like that. And I think it's very important because the feminine always feels it's her job to take on that pain or anything from other people, that we're not doing that with the collective right now, and it can really affect our frequency and the things that we're making our own. So as we're going through this transition, I think it's important that we're staying focused on our own lessons too right now. For sure. And so some of these lessons we've been working on a long time, because they're what our soul needs to kind of ascend out of here as well. That's why we all have different things we're working on. So it's kind of like if you're in high school and you're going to go do a test and you want to go do someone else's homework and their test for them, usually you'd get in trouble, right? Hi, I'm going to give you the answers, I'm going to help you. You probably get in trouble. And it's the same kind of concept, that when we go ahead and we try to assist others with their lessons, they're just going to get the same lesson later but harder, because they're kind of getting in trouble too for trying to have other people do their lessons. And we see that a lot with the dynamics, with this so much victim programming, where a lot of people are still expecting other people's to come do their lessons or help them, and we have to do these things ourselves on a soul level. This is a school as well, so we kind of have different things we're working on a spiritual level that we need to kind of get past now. We're going to go into some intense energy this year, like I said. Thank God I've been learning how to navigate these space storms for a while. It's why I do videos. I try to share things that I'm going through and things that I'm experiencing to try to help people and show people kind of, because I am, I guess, some type of way shower. And so I get to kind of pave through this. We don't get like learning manuals and lesson books. This is our school, like I said, and we're just kind of navigating this the best that we can. But I am someone experiencing a spiritual ascension, so I'm always excited to be able to bring my perspective kind of out on video. So everyone's having their same experience, but there is a collective lesson that is unfolding where we have to achieve balance, and where the feminine is rising. That might be making the masculine feel very uncomfortable. I feel that most of these systems are kind of masculine anyway. We can look at the structures of 3D, very masculine. So we can see a lot is kind of falling in and colliding, but nothing will go that isn't serving us. So we kind of have a lot going on. We have people kind of at different places. I think everyone's kind of feeling the pressure as we're coming into more and more energy as well. That is the point of all that. So, number one, how do we take back our power as the feminine? Well, being yourself, finding yourself, being more authentic for sure. We've been trying to fit in this little box, if you didn't notice, right? This is how you do life. It's like playing the life game, right? Anyone ever remember the board game Life, where you go and you go to college and you get the kids and you pay a lot of money, and it's like literally like the board game. They want you living your life like that. And I think it's very important that we are finding ourselves, that we're no longer giving away our power as well. People blame like the elite and the cabal, but it was always us not paying attention and creating these things out of fear or handing over our power. So it's very important that we're becoming responsible for what we're creating as well. That's how we take back our power. When we're in victim programming, usually we're going to draw experiences that aren't good to us, and that's how we give away our power, literally. Like blaming other people, we are creating every situation, whether aware of it or not. And I think that real mastery will come when we can kind of, like they say, make the subconscious more conscious. And we do that through more conscious awareness, through being more careful with our thoughts that we're having, because we're always directing the universe. And the reason why I try to bring lucid dreams into this conversation is because we are literally learning how to navigate a lucid dream. So if any of you guys are really good at like lucid dreaming in the real dream dimensions or astral traveling, then you're at an advantage here for where we're headed with these new energies. A lot of you guys have amazing abilities in the dream world. Maybe you're just into it. Maybe you just like it, right? But we're going to notice that it's becoming much like the dream dimension here. I believe that is through spiritual awakening, and we kind of go up in dimensions, right? We kind of go up in vibration and tend to go up in dimensions and things like that. So we're learning that navigating, especially these energies, are the same as a lucid dream, that every thought that we're having, we're letting the universe know where we want to go and what we want to see and what we want to do. And so sometimes people get really focused on things they don't want and fear, and you will attract those too. The universe can't really understand. Your mind isn't understanding. It takes everything literal. So we had to become really fine-tuned with our mind too. We're going through a little bit of the last of Aquarius season, we'll say. I don't even know what the date is. We're going to go through the last of Aquarius season. As we're wrapping up Aquarius season, a lot of people are in the third eye. That's because we're meant to be fine-tuning that chakra and working with that chakra, and a lot of people think, oh, well, my third eye is open. We're going to continue to expand our psychic awareness, and how deep we want to go with this is also up to us and the amount of work that we're willing to put in on our life as well. Good morning. Raising the vibe, right? I feel a lot of heavy stuff happening with the collective. You should see my news feed. It's everything that I've already been doing these videos for, because I do have abilities, and one of them is seeing future events, right? Seeing things before they happen, things like that. I know that the collective can always change and things like that, but with the things that I see unfolding, I don't know that a lot of people are at a place where they're prepared enough energetically to be handling all this energy. And I'm thinking about it last night, and because I get hit really hard with where me and my boyfriend live here, in the UK, there's a lot of energy that comes through here. And I talk to other people, right, that live here in some of these areas, and I'm telling you, there's just so much energy streaming in some of these areas, especially the ley line areas on the planet. Just so much energy lighting this planet up. So it doesn't matter if people are, you know, thinking they have infinite time in their life to do everything, or, you know, I'll do that next week. It doesn't really matter. This energy is coming in and doing it on every level. So I think that clearly everyone just has a lot more inner work to do, and the people that are putting in the work are going to be expected at some point to be assisting with all of this, as we know. So it's very important that we're getting ourselves together. Yes, the light workers. Getting ourselves together and sorted for sure, because things are going to continue to get more and more intense energetically around here. And with that comes a lot, like I'm talking about, with collective purges and fires, and we can talk earth changes. That's another thing that concerns me. A lot of people live in areas and they're not aware that there will be earth changes that are going to continue to unfold as these streams of solar wind continue to come into the planet, and it's just going to kind of continue. And I believe that we are going to see some type of solar flash event ultimately, and it doesn't matter when, because each one of these waves is creating events, right? A series of events, and they're just as powerful. So we see a lot is happening with these shifts that we're, I guess we'll say, learning how to navigate, right? Learning how to live in the fifth dimension. We're learning how to navigate these energy shifts, because a lot of people that are light workers are very energy sensitive. Yes, right? Empaths, healers, light workers are pretty sensitive to energy. So we're kind of getting overloaded with these energies, and it is our job, and we're expected to be anchoring in the grid with these new frequencies and to be assisting people with them. So we see that there's a lot of power in these energies too. Like I said, I'm going to get into this in my next video. We do have a full supermoon this weekend, and we're seeing as the waves of galactic energies are continuing to come into this planet, it's affecting a lot of things. We need to remember that all life is alive and living, even Gaia and the sun, right? And so we have all these energy bursts hitting the planet, and it's affecting everyone and everything, and it's going to continue to. So what helps me is I understand the process and what's happening, but not everyone on the planet does, right? And so there's a little bit of confusion, and a lot of people have a lot of disorientation. A lot of people are feeling empty as well, because they've kind of put their hopes and dreams into the American dream, and maybe it didn't pan out the way they thought it would be, and maybe when they got this material thing, it didn't fulfill that need within. And a lot of people are kind of going through different experiences in the same place, so it's kind of a lot of energy surfacing too as these waves are kind of continuing to come in. We also have a lot going on with our chakras and our energy body and our bodies as we're going through this crystallization process. And it's not just humans going through this. We can see that all life had a carbon base. I mean, I had to take a lot of I went to school for alternative medicine, so clearly I did a lot of different types of science and things like that. And if you talk about biology, all life is carbon, they say, and that's what's being taught in our current kind of system of education. But now all life is crystallizing, literally. So we're going to talk about plants, we can talk about everything. And then when they go to look for life in other planets, other close by planets, when they're going on their space expeditions and they're going to look for life, they're always looking for carbon-based life. And then they're starting to think, oh, I think we had it all wrong. Maybe that's why we're not finding aliens. So these energy waves coming in are changing our human consistency. What that change looks like is up to us, though. This isn't going to be a magical fix for people, as they're finding out, as these waves are coming in. So if you have a lot of internal baggage, or you're sick or not feeling good, this is going to amplify that. It amplifies wherever you're at. Sounds familiar, because that's what people think about when we die. That we must go, this is an automatic fix. It's a fix for my life. When you die, you're going to go within into your own dream dimensions, like you do when you sleep. So we can see that if we're having a hard time with life in this dimension, when I go to bed at night, I might even have bad dreams. Or maybe I'm not going to sleep as good, right? So our state of consciousness consciousness in this dimension is so important because it's affecting us on many dimensional levels, even in the afterlife. Where we're at and the lessons that we kind of were working on here are not going to go away. They're going to continue in other dimensions for us as well. So, you know, it's really smart if you can really try to just crush your life, fix your life, sort your life now, because things are going to continue to kind of come undone around here. And it's very important that we're kind of going within and learning how to demonstrate self-mastery. A lot of people think that, you know, spiritual will be a fix for them, right? Like a lot of people think it will fix maybe their not having a job situation or things like that. And it's not meant to be used like that. We're meant to literally, you know, demonstrate self-mastery. All right, so time to vibrate higher. There's a lot of heart chakra purging going on. It's not yours. Some of it is not yours, I swear. So if you guys are purging, and I say this ahead of time, I mean this for the weekend forecast, right? As we're going into the weekend or now, if you guys are feeling heavy, if you're feeling maybe like heart chakra kind of heaviness, things going on, things with your sacral, things going on with your chakras, not all of it may be yours, especially in the sacral or the heart chakra going through this shift. There's a lot unfolding with the collective. Also, we're very connected to Gaia, hopefully, the earth. So we're feeling what Gaia is experiencing as well, as Gaia is making this spiritual ascension as well. So better boundaries. If you guys are feeling tired, rest. What is happening? People are like, oh my God, I'm tired. That is to be expected going through these shifts. You're making these jumps up in frequency because we're living on this planet and all life is about to. So all life is experiencing this rapid increase in frequency. So that might not feel good for some people or whatever. People are all at different levels, different places energetically. So if you guys are feeling tired, that can be normal. You know, like if you're going through a big jump, but if you're like tired excessively all the time, you need to flow. You need to really find your flow in these energies, for sure. So really pay attention to your body too, as we're going to go through this really big porthole this weekend. On Sunday, we have another porthole. So we're going to go through this porthole and then through another one the next week. So we have a lot of portholes that we're kind of going through, energetic gateways that are really, really powerful. So pay attention to your body as we're making these shifts. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I forgot anything else. So you're going to start having crazy dreams. I think we covered that. You're going to start having crazy dreams. This is your subconscious trying to reach through to you, I swear. And sometimes these dreams don't make sense because the subconscious is trying to communicate with us much like our everyday life, just through our experiences. So you're practicing in the dream world. You're becoming more awake, more lucid there. Your subconscious is going to be sending you more and more messages, whether it's through dreams you're remembering, synchronicity, serendipity, miracles, good things. So that's why it's important that if we stay focused on good things in our life going through this shift this weekend, we can amplify those things, right? So if you're trying to manifest something, these energies, since they amplify everything, it brings a powerful energy to manifesting. I always say, be more clear. Sometimes we're not as telepathically tuned in as we like to think. I mean, there were times on this planet when people were really telepathically tuned in, where they could read every thought and things. So we still have some work to do with, we'll say, our spiritual software as we're continuing to go through this process. So sometimes we're not as telepathically clear as we like to think to be, especially if you're really in your mind and you have a million thoughts going on a day. For sure, make a list. Swear. You should probably make a manifesting list, journal. Things like that are powerful. We can communicate with other dimensions in the other realm that way. It's really a good way to communicate with your angels or loved ones as well. Just writing things down, journaling. So, time to stay focused on what you are doing with your life. It might be a good time to tune out. We're going to see more and more kind of drama unfolding with the collective. It's part of this process. People are at different levels, so we might not understand all of the negative programming that's going around, the negative programming on television or whatever's happening in the planet and on Facebook that you're seeing kind of seep into your reality. It is needed. This world stage is going to continue to get kind of crazier and crazier because it's needed. Some people are kind of sleepwalking, right? Because we need to wake up and become lucid in this experience, just like a dream. So, you know, sometimes people get their wake-up call in different ways. Like swear. So, you know, we're going to see more and more. Make sure that you're really just staying focused on your own reality. That's how this is going to come together as a new collective. These energies are powerful. We were talking about, you know, them last night, and they are basically God particles, photons, divine energies flooding this planet, along with a lot of galactic frequencies, a lot of solar energies, and then we have lunar energies, right? And all of these energies are kind of mixing together and are creating a powerful effect on this planet. It is meant to push us to heal. So, you know, that is part of the journey. Thank God. I'm assuming everyone on this feed is consciously aware that we should be healing, doing this journey. Not everyone is at that place though. So we're kind of like at different places with it for sure, but these are powerful energies for healing. The people that are having a hard time, they might be feeling sick or having a really hard like lessons, they're healing too. They're getting pushed with deep lessons. So there's a lot of kind of heavy lessons kind of affecting people, but it's all meant to heal these things. It's meant to kind of, you know, trigger a awakening, heal these things. Some people can read your mind. That's another topic, because I'm going into that. I was going to do it today. I swear I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm trying to get back on my video game, but I do have a lot going on too. So that's, I swear this is topic for tomorrow, so maybe you're really psychic asking about the mind reading. So I'm just going to put it on here. I had someone kind of hit my inbox, and I probably reacted really strong because they were like digging around in my past life Akashic, but I didn't ask them to, and I definitely probably didn't want them to. And they were just kind of randomly like channeling things about me. And I'm going to go into a video on the Akashic and using our abilities and how they should be kind of used responsibly too. I think that's important. So we'll do that talk tomorrow in our Awakening to Ascension group on the Akashic, reading minds, abilities, remote viewing, healing, and all sorts of things, so we can kind of talk about, well, I don't say ethics because in Reiki I know they talk about ethics, but I want to talk about our abilities that are coming online and using them kind of responsibly and respecting people's privacy with them too, right? And things like that. And they wouldn't understand this. The only reason I don't want to get into that conversation is because I have spent years in my past life Akashic to understand myself and in some, you know, crazy places, and I have such an understanding of myself. There's nothing anyone could probably tell me about myself that I haven't already figured out or seen at this point. So it's like a wormhole I don't want to get into with some random stranger on Messenger that I don't know. Like, you don't even want to go there with me. Just trust me on that. It's a lot of what I try to put on these videos too, because these are hard things to talk about. But we're coming into some amazing abilities, I swear. The more pure that we are of heart, the more abilities that you'll come into. That's why I try to do this path of service, and it's taken me crazy places, and I feel it's a lot kind of on my shoulders, but it will help us better tune into our abilities the more that we're trying to use them to help other people. And also for this week, there was a lot of time where people were using like magic everywhere and for darker light, darker light, extreme worlds of duality and magic. I kind of look at things differently because I'm going through like a lot of I've been taking a lot of classes and training here in the UK, which is mind-blowing to me that I can learn here. And so when I have a different perspective now, kind of looking back on some of these places and the worlds that they really were and how they really were, and that's where we're meant to head back to. And that's why there's so much fear with this stuff as well. Like, this could be scary, right? This could be scary. Are we sure we want to empower humanity again? We saw where this has led in past times, but this is meant to have been a long journey for a reason, so everyone could learn to be nice to each other. It's that simple. Please be nicer to yourself and other people, and we could really do so much, I swear. So it has taught us some deep lessons, hopefully, and I always tell people that, you know, we talk about the dark or cabal. If there are people that have been, you know, had a lot of really negative experiences, trust me, they're having a harder time now. The people that were not nice to you guys, or you might have had, like, you know, parents that were not great parents, things like that, or even the darker lessons like the cabal killing people. Trust me, anyone, the more they went into that, the more heavier lessons that they got. So the people that have chosen to be not very nice to humanity, they're getting some hard, deep lessons right now. Karmically, we know that these have karmic kind of reactions, and I know there's a lot happening with the collective, but we're going to see all of this get fixed and healed, and people will say, no way, look at the world. May it remind you of what a mess we've all been at one point in time, and how, yes, we heal, this is what we do. So Gaia will heal also, and it is a process, and sometimes healing doesn't look like instant or overnight. Sometimes it is a process of purging out layer of kind of garbage and getting rid of it. And so we kind of see this unfolding collectively as well, and that is a lot of what is happening with the collective experience as well too. All right. Let's see. So we're going to go through some heart chakra stuff. We're going into 4 supermoons. These are meant to be good things, so it can be hard. Like, you know, sometimes I don't feel like dealing with this stuff either, but if you can like get up, move around, go for a run, go for a walk, get outside, powerful energy. I'm going to go back to the ley lines at, I can't even remember, right, at the 9 Ladies Stone Circle. I like these smaller sites better because everyone's not there. I decided I like them better. It's like being in Stonehenge without the security. I was like, right? It's the same, it's probably older, it's been moved around less than Stonehenge too, these older sites. So powerful energy on these storms. And, you know, I know that they've had powerful energy going through these ley line structures forever. But as these energies are coming into the planet, it's like lighting up these grids next level. I personally believe they've never been turned on. Yes, they used to harness energy from like different pyramids and different ley line structures, but never was that global grid activated and turned on until right now. So we see a lot happening with the earth for sure, and the energy's changing, and it's just really crazy to kind of be out there in those areas. So I will be out there on Sunday and do some type of video. It was such awesome energy last weekend. I'm going back. It was like amazing energy. And so we're going to have a full moon too. So it is powerful energy to get outside. We need to learn how to harness this energy for whatever it is, whether it's for your personal life, for healing the collective. We can always be channeling out thoughts of peace and love, and we'll make that happen. We've been taught that we aren't powerful, but yeah, you're in control of what's going to happen, not just with your experience, but with the collective. So we really need to really kind of be sending healing to the collective. If you don't feel like doing anything in your life, right? Send some good vibes to the collective, right? And then I saw, like, I'll just throw it on here, another meme this morning that was like, everyone's going to be arguing over politics and the solar flash is coming. It's like, you know, put stuff in perspective. A lot of people are hung up on really stupid stuff. I see a lot of people kind of arguing about things like on social media that just probably aren't very important, right? Hating on other people, whether it's celebrities, politicians, whatever it is. Don't think that these people have a better journey or easier journey than you too. So sometimes people think, you know, the grass is greener on the other side. Everyone's kind of going through it. All right, so this journey is taking us back to Lemuria. Yes, back further, especially the divine feminine. It's powerful to come together in these groups because, you know, it's kind of generating this good energy, and the feminine is powerful as a healer, as a priestess, you know, as, you know, being someone very shamanic. And you guys are just kind of getting back to yourselves and realizing who you are after a really long time. And that's because we've completed the experience on Earth, a lot of us. The people that are resonating with being awakened and on an ascension journey have probably, you know, karmically completed or done what they needed to do on Earth and are able to now kind of assist the collective in whatever way. So this is a powerful place to be. People get very upset when I say this, but not every soul has chosen to ascend during this lifetime. Some will come play parts in our journey or in the collective, things like that. So a lot of people are kind of realizing that it is kind of special to be at a place, but that means that we're going to have to do even more work. This means that we have even more work to do than the rest of humanity who are choosing to stay in the third dimensional experience. We have a lot more work to do. We're going to have to continue to clean the body. We're going to have to learn how to navigate these higher frequencies, energies. Once you put in the inner work, though, it's going to get better and better for you energetically, so you'll probably feel better and better in these energies as well. All right, so we're focused on manifesting this week, miracles, and love. We're going to go through the next week's porthole, which is going to be really good for relationships and divine unions too. All right, I'm going to do cards.